Hey there, I'm Abigail. Right now, I'm holding down the fort while my husband, Jackson, is away for work. Even though he's busy, we stay as close as ever. He tries to call me every day unless his schedule is completely packed. At first, it felt weird. We're newlyweds, yet we're living miles apart, but I've adjusted. I wasn't ready to give up our apartment, the one we carefully designed together, stressing over every little detail. Jackson understood, so I stayed behind while he took on his work assignment. My friends couldn't understand it. You work from home, why not go with him? But honestly, I liked our daily calls. Then, out of nowhere, someone showed up and turned everything upside down. Her name is Sienna, Jackson's older sister, just 2 years his senior. His parents live far away, and she was supposed to be in our hometown, but for some reason, she moved to my city instead. And suddenly, she started dropping by. Abigail, just stopping in, still living like a hermit. I see, she'd tease. I work remotely, so I'm usually home unless I have errands, I'd reply. She took every chance to poke fun at me, always calling me a hermit. Sure, it wasn't entirely untrue, but it stung. Sienna has a way of getting under people's skin, she just doesn't understand personal space. When Jackson first introduced me to his family, she was relentless. Even when we announced our engagement, she bombarded me with inappropriate questions. How many guys have you been with? Is there anyone else besides Jackson? Maybe some people talk like that with close friends, but we weren't close. She was a complete stranger to me. Back then, Jackson's parents shut her down, but when she started visiting my place, it was just me dealing with her. As Jackson's wife, I couldn't just lose my temper. I knew Jackson and his family would support me if things got out of hand, but I also didn't want to create drama. So I played hostess every time she showed up, even though it disrupted my work. She'd hang around for 30 minutes to an hour, chatting away, and then leave with a smug, "Aren't I the best for visiting my little hermit sister-in-law?" I never invited her, she just kept coming, throwing off my routine. It was exhausting, but I didn't have the guts to tell her to stop. I considered talking to Jackson, but if he told her to back off, she'd immediately know it came from me, and I didn't want to deal with that fallout. He once mentioned that she hates feeling excluded, so, to avoid drama, I kept putting up with her unannounced visits. Then, about 6 months after she moved nearby, she blindsided me with something new. "So, this is Adam, my boyfriend," she announced. "Nice to meet you," Adam grinned. "Sienna said you're a great listener, but a total hermit, huh? Did Jackson get the short end of the stick?" "Hey, don't be rude," Sienna laughed. "Jackson's a bit clumsy. Lucky for him, he found someone just as quirky as he is." I had no idea she was bringing someone over, so when I opened the door, they both waltzed right in, without asking. Who is this?" I asked, trying to keep up. "I already told you, he's my boyfriend," she smirked, then she dropped a bombshell. "Actually, we're planning to get married, but ugh, marriage is such a drag." "Lucky for you, Jackson has a job, so he can support you while you hang out at home. We don't really like working, so we figured we'd just move into this apartment." Wait, what? I was speechless. Where did she get the idea that Jackson was my personal bank account? "I work remotely, I'm the one paying for this apartment right now. Jackson and I keep separate finances, and we both contribute a set amount to a joint savings account each month. We're on the same page about our money, and I don't depend on him." But her casually suggesting that she and Adam move in, I couldn't even process it. Before I could react, they started wandering around my home like they owned the place. I usually kept Sienna in the living room, offering her coffee and snacks while she chatted, but this time, she and Adam went straight into the bedroom. "This is great, big bed, super neat. We should clear out our place when we move in. I'll be sleeping here, obviously," Adam grinned. "Excuse me?" This was our bed, the one Jackson and I picked out together. No one else had any business being in it. Before I could protest, they moved on to my workspace. "That's my office," I explained. "I work from this setup, dual monitors, custom keyboards, mixers, headphones, all carefully chosen for my job." Adam's eyes lit up. "Whoa, this desktop is amazing, and this chair? Top-notch, perfect for gaming. I'm totally claiming it." Without hesitation, he plopped into my chair and started waking up my computer. I had been working just before they arrived, so my files were still open. "Stop that," I snapped. This was way beyond acceptable. I yanked the chair away from the desk and threw a cloth over my computer. "That's enough." You can't just barge into someone's home and act like you own the place. This is Jackson's and my home. For the first time, Sienna looked shocked, probably because I had never stood up to her before. Oh my God, you're hilarious, she scoffed. What's with the attitude? Trouble in paradise? Treating us like intruders is a real buzzkill. You know what? I'm telling my brother and my parents about this. And with that, she stormed out. That night, I finally called Jackson after his shift and told him everything. The constant unannounced visits, the way she invited Adam over without warning, how Adam tried messing with my computer, and most of all, their ridiculous assumption that they could move into our home. Jackson was stunned. I had no idea, he admitted. Thanks for telling me. I let out a sigh of relief. I had been worried he'd be upset that I hadn't said anything sooner, but instead, we started brainstorming ways to deal with Sienna. 3 days later, she showed up at my door alone. But this time, I didn't open it. No matter how much noise she made outside, I wasn't letting her in. I was on edge, half expecting her boyfriend, Adam, to be lurking nearby, just like before, keeping the chain lock secured. I cracked the door slightly and spoke through the gap. Sienna, clearly irritated, wasted no time in berating me. Don't you feel embarrassed, shutting yourself away like this? It's humiliating for our family, she snapped. I shot back. Oh, so I'm a hermit now? Absolutely, you're living off Jackson while he foots the bill for your lavish lifestyle, this fancy apartment, high-end furniture, that expensive computer setup. You're reaping all the benefits that I, his real family, should be enjoying, not some outsider like you, she accused. Her words didn't faze me. I might not share her blood, but I wasn't just anyone, I was Jackson's wife. I met her gaze steadily. I never said he should put me ahead of his lazy, self-absorbed sister, but I had no doubt he valued me more. She scoffed. Oh, is that so? There was plenty more I wanted to say, but I held my tongue. After talking it over with Jackson, we agreed not to fan the flames. Let her rant if she wanted, I wouldn't bother defending myself. She continued, it's ridiculous that you plan to mooch off my brother forever. I already talked to him, and guess what? He's finally come to his senses. You need to pack your bags and get out. I highly doubted that. Jackson and I had been strategizing about handling Sienna for weeks. No way was she the one making decisions here. I stayed calm and simply replied, if that's the case, then I'll be on my way. Thinking she had won, Sienna tossed her hair. Good, I'll let you get to it, she said before strutting off. What she didn't know was that I was moving out, just not for the reason she thought. A short while later, Jackson called. Abigail, I've moved all our stuff into the new place, just need to bring over yours, he told me. Perfect, I'm moving tomorrow, so I'll see you then, I said. The truth was, Jackson and I had bought a house. With his work assignment wrapping up, we could finally live together again. Our weekend house hunting had paid off, and the timing couldn't have been better. The next morning, I supervised the movers as they loaded up my belongings, watching as the truck pulled away. After returning my keys to the landlord and thanking him, I headed to my car, only to find Sienna and Adam waiting for me. So you really are moving out, Sienna smirked. Lucky us, looks like we get to take over, but I'm surprised, you're just a broke shut-in. How did you even afford a moving truck? I tilted my head, amused. Oh, everything in that apartment? I paid for it, so, naturally, I'm taking it with me. She blinked in confusion. What are you rambling about? You're just a freeloading leech, you can't even afford rent, let alone furniture, she sneered. I smiled. Actually, I make about $300,000 a year. Her jaw dropped. What? You've heard of remote work, right? I said. I work from home. Unlike you, I have a job, but I get why you wouldn't recognize actual work when you see it. Sienna gawked. But you never said anything about that. I sighed. I did mention it the first time you barged into my place, but you dismissed it, saying, yeah, right, you were probably talking about video game grinding, that doesn't count as work. I glanced at Adam, who looked uncomfortable. Oh, Sienna muttered, realization dawning. Apparently, Adam did think online gaming counted as work. They were quite the pair, both allergic to actual effort, but no matter how much they tried to escape reality, their real-life circumstances weren't changing. I was the one holding down that apartment, paying the rent, furnishing it, and maintaining it. I continued. The only reason I'm leaving is because Jackson and I are finally moving in together. My solo living arrangement is over. Sienna's expression darkened. So where are we supposed to stay now? She demanded. We figured we could just stay there. I raised an eyebrow. Who told you that? Well, I just assumed, she snapped. I laughed. Yeah, well, I never got that memo, and neither did the landlord. Jackson had called me the night before, he hadn't promised her a thing. But my brother had the lease, she insisted. I feigned surprise. Oh, didn't you call him? He did say his name wasn't on it, but I thought he was joking. I shook my head. Jackson doesn't joke about this kind of thing. Unlike you, he's responsible. The two of you couldn't be more different. At my words, her face turned an alarming shade of red. She opened her mouth, probably to snap at me, but Adam beat her to it. I shouldn't have believed everything you told me, he said flatly. I'm done. Sienna turned to him, shocked. Wait, what? You told me your family would provide for us, that we'd have a free place to stay, no bills to worry about, but now, no apartment, no money? Yeah, I'm out. With that, he walked away. Sienna was left standing there, completely blindsided. You can't just leave me, she shrieked. I took that as my cue to exit. The last thing I wanted was to get dragged into their mess. As I drove to our new home, I couldn't help but think, Sienna was bad, but Adam, he might have been worse. When I arrived, Jackson was already unpacking. As I helped, his phone rang. Sienna, he muttered, putting her on speaker. Jackson, she whined, Adam dumped me, and it's all your wife's fault. Jackson barely reacted. I had already filled him in. That's on you, he said coolly. You barged into Abigail's place, acted like you owned it, and tried to take over. You have no one to blame but yourself. She sputtered. What are you talking about? Our parents heard about everything, Jackson added. They said they're done with you. You took off with their money, remember? That was their way of saying goodbye. You're cut off, don't expect an inheritance. There was silence. Then, what? Reality had finally hit her. No boyfriend, no place to stay, no financial safety net. Well, she made her bed. Jackson and I blocked her number. From that moment on, we focused on starting our new life together, drama-free. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Stay tuned.